Somebody get these beggars out of here! Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Buddy. I'm your host Josh Blumenkrantz, and today I'm reviewing The Odyssey. Directed by Christopher Nolan, the story is a grand-scale Greek adventure about a father fighting his way back to his family after fighting in the Trojan War. So I've seen this movie twice now, and I gotta say my opinion changed big time after the first viewing, okay? So the first viewing, I saw it in IMAX 70mm in New York City at the AMC Lincoln Square Theater with my friends. Shout out to, you know, who you are. But yeah, it was really good. I liked it a lot, but I wasn't in love it territory, and I just thought it had some pacing issues, but then that all changed when I saw it again literally tonight in Dolby, and the sound was like amazing, oh my god. And it just really had just like a better feel to it. I understood what was going on better, because when you see it the first time, it's a lot. There's like so many different characters, so many storylines happening at once, and it's all a non-linear format, so it really makes you kind of have to focus, but then the ending is such a good payoff at the end of the day. But yeah, this movie rocked. And on that second viewing, I noticed that Nolan, he set up so many characters, ideas, and emotional payoffs throughout the movie. And it was really cool because I knew where the story was going. I could see how everything was carefully planted, and moments that felt slightly disconnected the first time were much more meaningful the second time, and the structure just worked better for me. So what I'm going to do, because this movie is a lot of movie, and I don't want to spoil it too much, but I'm going to break down each character and just what I thought about the character overall. So let's start with Matt Damon, who plays Odysseus, the legendary king of Ithaca. Odysseus is very brilliant in what he does, but he's also complicated and stubborn. He's a leader, he looks after his men, but he's not always making the best choices, and especially during the Trojan War. And this entire story, you're following his long and dangerous journey along the way to return to his wife, Penelope, and his son, Telemachus. And Hathaway plays Penelope, and honestly, she is one of, if not my favorite performances of the movie. She is a strong leader who is very faithful to her husband, Odysseus. And, you know, she doesn't want to marry another suitor. She wants to wait for him and wants to rule, but also she wants to rule while having a king by her side. She doesn't like having an empty throne. So I love what Anne did with the role. She's not in it, like, a lot, but when she does, she makes it count. Like, she is crying a lot, but when she's there, she is killing it. And, man, I just really enjoyed Anne Hathaway's performance in this one. Tom Holland plays Telemachus. Yeah, that's a crazy name. But yeah, he is the son of Odysseus and Penelope, and you know, I gotta say, Tom Holland, you know him as Spider-Man, obviously, and he hasn't had the best career outside of the Spider-Man movies, but this one, it's great. Like, he's in a Christopher Nolan movie, he's playing a serious role. The only flaw I had is just some of his intense, serious moments were like a little too much unbelievable, to say the least, at least with the line delivery. But I don't blame him 100% with that. You gotta blame the director a little bit with Nolan. But I really enjoyed what Tom brought to the role. He's innocent, but also he wants to be there for his family, and he wants to find out what happened to his father, what happened to Odysseus, is he alive? So he kind of sets out his own little journey, although he doesn't really go very far because he comes back pretty quickly, but nevertheless, I enjoyed what Tom Holland did with this role. Robert Pattinson plays Antinous, and he's one of Penelope's more aggressive suitors, and I love Pattinson in this. He's clearly having fun playing the sleazy, villainous guy, and he's very like entitled, irritating, annoying, dangerous, very worthless of a character, but like he just sells it. He's having a great time, and I really enjoyed seeing him in this mode. Like, he just has a different kind of character voice for anybody that he plays. It's like so cool. But yeah, I love Robert Pattinson in this. Leguizamo plays Eumaeus, I think I'm saying that right, Odysseus' loyal servant, and he is just amazing in this movie. I've seen him in, like, you know, various things, but like he has such a strong screen presence in this. He brings warmth and humanity into the movie, and even when he isn't speaking much, you notice him. You know, he's playing like this guy who can barely see anything, and he's very loyal to Odysseus and to the family overall, and just wants to make sure that everybody's safe. And yeah, I just really had a good time with his role too, and I hope he gets a nomination because I think he deserves it. Samantha Morton plays Circe. She's a witch character in this world and encounters Odysseus and his crew along the way, and she makes use of her one scene, truly. Like, she's known for doing this, like being in one scene and then that's it for her character, but my god, just so emotional, so raw, and she honestly deserves an Academy Award nomination too, because my god, she's amazing in this movie, and she just sells everything with this, and my god, just wait till you see her in this movie. You know who really impressed me? Elliot Page as Sinon, okay? The role isn't huge, but he makes the most of this character. He's worked with Christopher Nolan, obviously, in Inception before, and now he's back, And man, just what a presence from this guy. Like, truly. Like, the character, I appreciated more on the second viewing. He kind of comes back later into the movie, but just delivers all of those lines perfectly with, like, such raw intensity and just really good presence. Again, like, I really enjoyed Elliot Page in this. Such a standout. So those were all the characters I liked. So let's get into a bunch of other characters that are in this movie but are also barely in this movie and are a little bit underdeveloped. So I'll start with Charlize Theron as Calypso. I just thought we could have did without these scenes. Or it could have just been told in a more interesting way and we just didn't get it. Or maybe she was miscast in the movie. Maybe someone else could have played her part. I don't know. But I just felt like it just bogged down the movie for me. The pacing both times, I was just like, okay, I get it. He's like eating the lotus flower. He's forgetting, you know, where he is and like where he was supposed to go, that kind of stuff. So I guess spoiler alert. But, you know, I wanted more from her presence because she's such a great actress, but she was just so underutilized in this movie. She's barely in it. I mean, it's cool that she's a part of it, but I just wanted more because I know she can do that. And I just thought it was kind of a waste of her talents. And then you have Zendaya playing Athena, and while she was good too, really good presence, and, you know, kind of like an emotional backbone to like the, I guess, guilt that Odysseus kind of feels throughout the movie, I just felt like she's not doing enough. And she's great. She's great in the movie, but it's the writing. It's the writing for her character and what she has to play in this movie. I don't know. She served her purpose, but like, it's Zendaya. Like, come on, you got to give her more stuff to do. It just felt so bogged down to me. But like, I mean, yes, this movie's pushing like almost 3 hours, and like there's so many different characters. But like, I don't know, it's just distracting because she's kind of playing more of the same with like Dune and like other characters that she normally plays. I just wanted something different for her in a Nolan movie, and I hope she gets another chance at some point because I think Zendaya is just a great actress and overall cool person. Same thing goes for Lupita Nyong'o as well. She's playing 2 characters, Helena Troy and Clement Denstra. I think that's how you say it. But she's just like, she's like in like maybe 3 minutes of this damn movie, okay? She's like with Jon Bernthal. She's sort of like the mistress who like kills Benny Safdie's character, and again, she's great, but I just want more. Like, you see the scars on her face and everything, but it's just not enough for me. Not enough Lupita Nyong'o. And like, if you're gonna show big actors in your movie, like, give them like a bigger purpose or something. Like, have it tie into the main central storyline. I mean, it does in a way, and, you know, it kind of comes back later to like the whole like zombie scene. But it just, I don't know, it just didn't feel right to me. Same thing goes for Mia Goth. She's like barely there. She's kind of like the assistant to Anne Hathaway, but like, again, like, we've seen Mia Goth be leads in movies like that are horror and stuff like that. It's cool that she's in this world, but she's not doing anything. And then Jon Bernthal, who's really good, like, you know, he's there just to kind of like tell the story. That's like mainly what he does in this. Like, he fought in the Battle of Troy war, and just like, I don't know, it's just waste of talents here, you know? Like, he's so good in the movie, but like, I wanted more Jon Bernthal. I mean, I guess he served his purpose, but I don't know. He's like, let me tell you something. Like, just, I don't know. Like, I love Jon Bernthal. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have to say about the characters. Let's go into some of these action sequences. So, you know, there might be some spoilers in here. Just be warned, if you haven't seen the Odyssey at this point, or you haven't read the book, just do that, and then I guess watch the rest of this. But here we go. Okay, so the first big thing that we kind of see is the Cyclops. Okay, so the Cyclops happens, and it's kind of amazing how Nolan pulled this off. It was all practical. It was like a big puppet and like people involved, and just a little bit of like visual effects, I'm sure, but it's okay. But yeah, at first when I watched it in the first viewing, it kind of annoyed me, and then the second time I watched it, I enjoyed it a lot better. I mean, the Cyclops just wants to be with his sheep and, like, you know, stay out of trouble, but no, like, these army of men just come barging in and just kind of wreck everything. So yeah, I see where he was coming from on this. Okay, I might be going a little out of order, but it's okay. So yeah, the Battle of Troy, you know, like, going into the Trojan horse, which was like so cool. Like, the fact that they kind of crammed all of these men into this horse, have Hoyt van Hoytema like use his big IMAX camera to film all this, is astonishing. Truly, like the work that goes into this stuff is amazing. So, like, you know, they're in the horse, they get taken to the like palace, and then they come out, and then they just start fighting all of these guys. It's crazy. And then they open the gates, and even more men come through, and just all the chaos kind of happens. Zendaya's there. as Athena, and then she gets killed, and just kind of sets off this whole chain of emotion. And just all of this is like practically happening. All these men in the background fighting. It's amazing. I loved it. Then they encounter Samantha Morton's character, Cersei, and I'll just tell you straight up, she turns these men into pigs, okay? She turns them into pigs with her magic witchcraft, and it's kind of cool really how they did that. Again, no visual effects. It's all practical. Like, they basically got these, like, I guess human heads and gave her something to kind of like mold with her hands, kind of like a Play-Doh kind of a thing. It's so cool. Oh my god. Like, I can't wait to see Nolan do like a horror movie, because I think he's just gonna crush it, honestly. Just like his visual eye for these kind of scenes is crazy. So artistic, so natural, and it just looks really, really cool. So Cersei tells them that they have to kind of cross through hell, or like Hades, in order to make it back home. And then they encounter the fallen men, who are basically like zombies, and they're kind of like the bad shades of these men. And he gets warned by Elliot Page's character that Robert Pattinson's character is basically doing shady stuff. He was supposed to take over for him and take his place, but he didn't. So that kind of pisses Odysseus off, and he's going to honor these men eventually. So they cross through. It's pretty cool. Like, they just come from like under the ground, and like just like it's like almost like a horror movie. It's crazy, and I really liked like what they did with this scene, and just another really cool action set piece. Then after that, they encounter the sirens, and like Odysseus wants to just like be tied and hear the siren song. He's kind of like warned though, just from like various people, that like his men are gonna die if they defy the sun god. And of course, what do? They defy the sun god, and they eventually are gonna die, basically. Except for Odysseus, because he listens and follows the rules. And, you know, like, eventually gets stranded on the island. That's where he meets Calypso and their whole deal. Like, you know, she kind of keeps him captive for about 7 years, not going back to his family. He's not remembering everything right away. Eventually he does, and he goes back to his family. And that's where the story gets very interesting. During all of that, also, by the way, there was a whirlpool, which they kind of created using slight visual effects, but also men in jet skis just, like, going round and around and create that inside of a whirlpool. So awesome. And on top of that, there's, like, creature that was like snatching up men from the boat, and it was kind of Odysseus' fault, because he was like, let's go this way, even though he knew what was going to happen. Just it's such a fascinating character, Odysseus, because, like, you know, he's trying to be a good guy and lead his men and keep them safe, but also he makes bad choices that get other men killed. It's like he needs to honor them, but he doesn't. He's like, we need to stay alive, we need to stay hidden, we need to escape, that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff in this movie. Then eventually Odysseus makes it back home, and he decides to go under an alias because he needs to assess and see what's going on with his people, if they want to kill him or not. You know, because Benny Safdie said, like, if you're going to go back, like, you got to be under an alias. You can't just say that you're Odysseus. And he goes, he saves his son, and it's really cool, like, that final sequence when he's like, you're Odysseus. That's what Corey Hawkins says, and then he gets killed, and then he just does the whole bow and arrow thing. It's awesome. I don't want to really say too much. I've already said enough already. You just got to go and watch this movie, because like, you will have a hell of a time. I really, really enjoyed this. So, okay, my first original grade was an 8 out of 10, and then upon seeing it a second time tonight, I'm at a 9 out of 10 with this movie. It is great. It's one of the best Greek stories I think I've ever seen on film. Nolan has done it. He shot this thing entirely in IMAX. And in terms of Oscar potential, this is an across-the-board Oscar contender, I think, for the most part. Okay, you got picture, you got director, you got screenplay. Yes, I do think it's getting into screenplay, despite some writing issues. What else? We got Anne Hathaway for supporting actress. I think she is in. I think John Leguizamo has a shot at supporting actor for a nomination. I think I'm going to put him in. It's not a lock, but I think he's in. And then there could be some others. I don't think Tom Holland's going to get in, but I think this will propel him to get an Oscar nomination for his next film with Fred Astaire. I don't think Robert Pattinson's going to get in for this. It would be really cool, unless they really love the movie and they just go all in on all of these actors. I think maybe he'll get in, but I think he'll get in for like another movie. Matt Damon, I think I'm so close to putting him in. I think I'm going to do it. Like, it's him, right? Like, he's got to be in. He's like the face of the movie. It's his story for the most part. I don't know. I'm going to say for now, yes, but I could take him out. We'll see. And yeah, you got all your tech awards. You got cinematography, you got sound, you got editing, you have Not the original song by Travis Scott. Oh yeah, Travis Scott is in this movie, and he's okay. He's barely in it, but I'll tell you, the song is not that good. It's not gonna get in. Score by Ludwig Göransson, amazing. Oh my god, Ludwig. It's not as good as like his other scores, like Oppenheimer, but like it's a really good score. He's definitely getting nominated. I don't know if he's gonna win unless the other scores are this year are not that good. But yeah, I do have Ludwig Göransson in there. I don't know anything else. Casting maybe, but like last year we didn't really get like a all casting award for like the most famous stars you can think of. So maybe that's not what this category is. It's year 2, we'll see. But yeah, I think these are all the nominations I have right now. But what do you think is going to get nominated for? I want to know. Tell me what you think. And those are my thoughts on the Odyssey. I know it's a little bit long, but thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, go and hit the subscribe button on the channel. Greatly appreciate your feedback and your support. Remember, when you go to the movies, bring your buddy and talk about movies. Until next time, bye.